I got a license for it. I got a medical card. I'm going, I don't care if you got 5. I am absolutely against it. Yeah, I'm your friend, but I don't have to sniff your marijuana. And I thought when I walked in, I smelled marijuana had been frying, or whatever they do with it. And I looked, and I'd seen these roaches, in these ashtrays, and I was looking at it. And then immediately I began to look around the room, and he had told me he only had 1 gun. I counted 5, I think. I'm like, this guy may be a problem. And Claire goes, it's okay, you got a gun on. I know you got a gun. You always carry a gun. I'm going, it's in the truck. I don't know if you've ever been to a place where there's nobody, but that's where we were. And what I did at that point right there, we were walking out. I didn't want to be in there anymore. We were walking out, and I'm going, I'll just tell you straight up, man. I disagree with medical marijuana. I don't care if you eat it. Don't offer it to me. Don't hand it around me. Don't hand it out. I disagree with what it does to people's lives that don't smoke marijuana, that's driving out on the road. And besides that, think about this. Marijuana is great for you. Boy, if you ever seen kids suffering, you give them marijuana, what's happening to their lungs while they're sucking on marijuana? Why don't we give them cigarettes? Oh, we wouldn't do that. You would if it was legal for it. If you really believe that junk. And if somebody come up from some science room somewhere and said, Marlboro's the only way to get peace and healed, there'd be idiots all over the world opening up Marlboro stores. Did I say idiots? I did, didn't I? I meant to say that. You know what an idiot is, right? Someone that can't think as high as you do. Okay. So here we got this guy, this father, that has 2 sons, and both of them are way beneath what they were born to be. One of them says, give me everything that's due to me. We're at that story, okay, right there. So he takes it. Are you ready to read on? Watch this. This gets crazy, man. Say this again with me, that your image, say my image, my likeness, my supply, and my future was before the foundation of the world. So you didn't get all that. That didn't just happen because you got born, okay? That happened when God created and made the decision. And you notice that nobody was there to vote. It was God's idea for you to have a good lifestyle, or the lifestyle of God, or the image of God, the likeness of God, and also the supply and the future of God. You didn't get to vote on that. So watch this. This guy goes out and he goes, Dad, I want what belongs to me. It's yours. So he takes it. Got that part? Not many days after he took it, guess what happened in verse 13? He went into and he gathered it all up and he took a journey into a far country. Probably up there where we were. Marijuana land. I don't know. They're listening to this now. How y'all doing out there? Anyway, not many days afterward, watch this, not many days. Say it didn't take very long. Okay, this is why I want you to see something about the image he had. Not many days, he took a journey into a far country, and there what did he do? He wasted the substance on the wrong kind of living. You know what he did? He did what was in his heart. He did what he was attached to. Even though it didn't show the whole time he was raised in that family, it was still a part of his heart, and he was attached to it, and it worked for him, even if he didn't want it to. It worked for him. So here's what happened. Out of him, when he did this, this is what come out of him. He got all of his stuff from his dad. He's doing good now. Here's what he's doing. Get your motors running. Head out on the highway looking for adventure. Born to be wild. Born. He was wild on the inside before he got wild on the outside. What are you laughing about? You don't even know that song. You're too young. This has been running. Come on, baby girl. Yeah, you little dirty thing, you. No, think about it for a second. This is why we have to really look at what God's will is concerning my image. I got born again, just like this kid got born in that family. He may have been born in that family, but God had enough sense to know no matter what family we're born into, we need to be born again. And when we got born again, that image of our Father should be the image that's in our heart, even if it's not on the outside. And as a matter of fact, the image that God has called and preordained us for is birthed on the inside of us before it can come on the outside. So if you're sitting here today and say, well, I wished I was like them. I wished I had that much of God. You do. It's on the inside of you. If you've attached to it by faith. You know, talking about this guy, I got real concerned. I love this guy, you know. But like I say, I'm not going to compromise. You know, like we're walking through the woods and people are going like this. Boy, are y'all going to be okay walking this far? I said, do we look like we're old or something? I said, I'm not old. I don't know about her. She can talk for herself, but I'm not old, but I can tell you what she'll say, you know. Well, he said, you know, this is the world. I'm old and I'm unhealthy. I said, I don't get sick. People don't understand that. Look, if you're going to be a Christian and you got an image that's been born in you, if you're really a Christian, for God's sake and for your good, let it out. But if you're a Christian, you say you're a Christian, and when you get a little money, get your motor running. It may very well be you need to go back for a second dose of the Holy Ghost. Now, there ain't one of us that hadn't had another dose of it. We need 7 or 8 a week, probably. How many days are there in a week? We need at least 2 a day. Because it takes development. I had to learn this fresh and new because I'm going, if you're a Christian, then I'm a monkey. And I was born from an ape. And I'm just getting fed up with it, you know. And trying not to say anything that would separate us forever. Because I love people. I know I don't like everybody, but I love people. You know. I mean, you don't like everybody. You may not like me. That's okay. You're here. We proved that you can be here and not like me. So what's the big deal, you know? But listen to this for a second. I said, I got to do something. So we were just about finished and wrapping things up and leaving. And I mentioned something, a disaster. And if you're in law enforcement, and we have law enforcement here, so I'll be careful, but you have to deal with a lot of nasty stuff. Stuff that no human being should have to deal with. You know, like at a football game when people are shooting guns off and people are running. Our law enforcement and first responders are not running from that. They're running toward that. I mean, that's things people should never have to deal with. You should never have to be put in a place where you run toward the trouble. But when you make the decision to be an officer of the law or a medical worker or whatever, or a Christian, you run toward the problem, not from it. You understand that? So I mentioned something, and when I did, boom, I knew that when he said, I don't like to talk about that, I got him. I got him. Right? I got him. So I took a long story and shortened it down for time's sake, you know, 2 hours? No, I'm just teasing. And I said, I was sharing that with him, and something came on. Remember that? Something came on. The light came on. And he's in my truck. I have a single cab truck. There's not enough room for 5 people. There's only 3, and most of us are oversized. So I got him. I'm sitting here talking. Claire's in the middle. He's on the end. And the more I talked about it, I don't like to talk about that. Okay. So I began to tell the story, gross story, and how God intervened, how God came in. And his head's going like this. He's looking over at me. And I said, do you believe that? He said, I want you to know I'm a believer. I believe everything he said. I believe God does miracles. I believe God does healings. I believe. And right there I realized he could very well be a Christian. Most likely he's like this prodigal son in some measure, like we've all been. And maybe he doesn't have the image that we might look for. But it's not because God didn't give it to him. Because he wasn't there when God gave it to him. God gave it before the foundation of the earth. Are you getting this? And then all of a sudden I realized something. The only problem was it wasn't developed. So I said to the Lord, I want to know. I said, don't tell me if you don't want me to know, but if you want me to know, I want to know. Is he going to hell? I mean, I'd send him there. Is he going to hell? Some of the stuff he's saying, I'm going, that's hell number 1, hell number 2, hell number 3, hell number 4. This sucker's had it, boy. Okay? I mean, this guy's going to hell. And then he confesses Christ. And I said, I want to know something.